Welcome to Wellness for All. We are recording this, so if you'd like a copy of the link, you can ask for it afterwards. We'd be happy to send it to you. Welcome. My name is Carol Longman, and I'm the Vice President of Business Development at Her USA. And we're so glad that you've joined us today. So for over 30 years, Her has created wellness solutions appropriate for every fitness level. And our pneumatic strength equipment provides safe, targeted exercise for a diverse range of abilities and stamina levels. Her Smart Touch technology allows staff to create customized workouts for each individual. And with an easy swipe of a wristband or key fob, a user's exercise routine is uploaded and their resistance, sets, reps, and seat automatically adjust. So this is part of why we are having this Wellness for All webinar today. We want to share with you how appropriate our equipment is for all users. And here we go. Okay, so again, welcome, and that is welcome in Finnish. Her USA, we are part of a Finnish company, HUR, which stands for Helsinki University Research. And the equipment at HUR is born from research over 30 years ago, research being done at Helsinki University. We also offer balance training devices that also have a research background and came from studies done by a PhD physical therapist working on her PhD. So we are all about research and providing wellness solutions for a wide range of people. So I want to just start with some terms and make sure that we're clear and all using the same vocabulary. We often hear the words accessibility and inclusivity. Well, what's the difference and why does it matter? Well, accessibility is referring to whether or not a person can actually get somewhere, and in this case, can get on a piece of equipment, because we're going to be talking about physical therapy or fitness centers in this case. So how easy is it for that person to physically move and do the exercise? Inclusivity is more the feeling of being part of the community, of feeling welcome and comfortable. Because you might have a gym that has some pieces they can use, a pulley or something like that. But if they feel they're in a gym that is primarily for people who are, training to be high-level athletes with full mobility, they may not feel as comfortable or confident. So why does this matter? Well, it matters because a lot of people are affected by accessibility issues. So as many as 98% of the world's population will experience varying degrees of physical limitation at some point in their lives. Certainly as we age, even athletes with injuries, you can just imagine, you probably know yourself, this affects a wide range of people. It's estimated 1.5 billion people currently live with a disability. And in the US, as many as 54 million Americans, or 20% of the population, has some type of disability or activity limitation. So here are some of the barriers. We all know that people with different types of physical limitations can and should still exercise, that wellness is important regardless of your ability, but there are barriers. So time, cost, transportation, lack of social support, and diminished self-efficacy. I want to focus on the last one, self-efficacy. So that term, of course, means that they have limited prior experience or low self-confidence. Obviously, the gentleman in the lower left-hand corner who's doing a squat with a lot of weight on his back, that is not something a person who is new to exercise, who's rehabbing, or just has not had any gym experience would be able to safely or confidently do. And knowing how to move your body through the right range of motion and lift something that heavy. We look over to the right and you can see a gentleman who is using a wheelchair and he is able to work out. And that's because he has a piece of her equipment that not only allows him to exercise without a transfer, but that touch screen with his key fob or wristband is going to automatically set up his weight, his reps, his sets, even adjust the levers. And he can work out with the confidence that his trainer, the woman on the left, has set up for him, knowing that he's done it right and limiting his risk for injury or even just the fear of being in a gym and not knowing what to do. That is taken out of the equation. Okay, so you do need to assess your gym. If you're thinking about changing some things out, if you're creating a new gym that you want to attract people of all ability levels, then here are some things to consider, because it's not just about whether people use a wheelchair or not. There are different kinds of limitations. So does anyone maybe have joint or back conditions that limit the exercises they can do? So they may have use of their legs, but they could have degenerative discs, which is really common as you get older. They could have different types of joint issues, lax joints. It's an endless variety of things. Well, for those people, having the pneumatic air pressure training would be superb because it can start at a small quarter pound, and the natural transmission of power is actually easier on joints and connective tissue. It's not a jerking motion as they work through that muscle contraction and the eccentric and the concentric motion. So the next question, how easily can a wheelchair user move around your space and equipment? Well, the diagram on the right is a spec with the compliant, what the rules say. They suggest a 60-inch clear space for turning. That's your radius, or actually diameter, sorry, 60 across. That would be for your average wheelchair. Obviously, a sports wheelchair is going to turn tighter, and a power chair is going to be bigger. You're going to need more space than that. Many of her pieces of equipment do 2 exercises at once. So that makes it so that you can space things out a little more and not have to jam in so many pieces of equipment. It's a nice added benefit of the dual function. So then, does your staff have the proper equipment to assist someone with stamina limitations? I mentioned this earlier, but again, being able to increase by small quarter-pound increments and not 5 or 10-pound jumps is ideal for people with limited stamina. They can still celebrate their successes in the small increments and not stall out at 10 pounds or stall out at 5 pounds. Okay. Next slide. 5 suggestions for making your center welcoming. So we'll go back to the environmental barriers. Again, this is the accessibility side of things, but look at them for all areas, not just the door, the bathroom, the railings, but look at really how the gym is laid out and think about social interactions. What direction? Is the equipment pointed towards a wall with a TV, or is it pointed into the middle where there's more eye contact and the ability to perhaps socialize and start to form a connection in a community? Think about replacing old exercise equipment with things that are more versatile for a wider range of abilities. Some of the older stuff that's single function and a weight stack is really only going to be useful for a very small group of people. And then offer a wide variety of exercise options. People do get bored. They need to keep their exercise fresh and stay motivated. So you want to continue to offer a variety, not just 1 or 2 machines that a person can do, and the rest are off limits. Okay, so specific to her, we offer really 3 different categories of machines. And today I'm talking about accessible. So I'm talking about the machines that are in this picture that, again, the gentleman in the wheelchair, he's got the easy roll on, roll off. But we offer a software high five line, which you can see in this picture. This gentleman's looking at the screen. And then we also offer an analog. It has a lower price point and it doesn't have any of the software, so no software fees either. And then those machines, they're also very easy to use. The person is still not going to have to adjust a weight stack or move a pin. They'll use large mushroom buttons, big round buttons, to simply add or take away the air pressure. So it's still something that's going to be very easy for a wide variety of individuals to use. So like I mentioned before, range limiters, we have some great hand grips. It sounds like a silly little thing, but it's really important. They are welded and anchored to the frame of the machine. So for our standard line that isn't a roll-on style, but has a seat, it makes the transfer very easy. There's some great hand grips on the leg press if someone were to come in a walker or a wheelchair, but still be able to transfer and want to work on strengthening their lower body. We have seat belts. And then that touch screen is an 11-inch tablet portrait style vertical touch screen. So all these things make the machines very easy to use. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'll just tell you some housekeeping. I'm going to show you a short video that I think does a great job of summing everything up and also showing you our equipment. And then we're going to end and I will come back on and I will show you some of our equipment in our showroom. So here is the video. Let's see if we can.
Her equipment allows strength training like no other. Using pneumatics, our equipment is ideal for young and old rehabilitation or training. Using pneumatics allows for natural transmission, meaning the equipment is very safe and smooth to use, making it ideal for a wide range of applications. Removable chairs from our easy access line mean the IFI accredited Her equipment is truly inclusive. Range limiters are also available to offer a safe way to work out for people with limited movement. Using RFID readers, the Her Smart Touch system can recognize the individual and machines automatically set to carry out your program, increasing load automatically when you overperform. Regular software updates allow for new features to be added, most recently range of motion and power features.
Okay, well, thank you. We are going to catch back up in just a moment in the showroom for the demo.
Okay, welcome back everyone. I'm here in the Her USA showroom and I want to show you our equipment in real time, not just on a slide deck with a static picture. So I'm sitting on our accessible dip shrug, and our high five equipment, which is the equipment that has software, has RFID enabled wristbands, cards, keychains. There's a number of options, but basically the user has their workout stored on one of these options. So I'm just going to set down these because my workout is saved on a keychain and it's super easy. You just wave it in front of the screen and then it automatically sets. It says, "Welcome, Carol," and the air pressure from the compressor is going to load into the arms, and the number of sets and reps and everything about my workout is already pre-planned. It will set up the machine for me. Now I'm sitting on our easy chair, and this is a chair that can roll away. And as you can see, the low platform, this same machine is one that a person in a wheelchair could roll into and do the same thing. They don't have to bend down and move a pin or do any kind of setup. They can simply wave their keychain and have their workout set. So here we go. My arms have come up automatically. The lever arms were just loading with the air pressure and it's all in now. And I can go ahead and begin my workout. Now the dip shrug obviously is something that's going to be hitting your biceps and triceps, and it's great for upper body strength, for the use of either getting up out of a chair or pushing up off the arms of the wheelchair to transfer. There we go. I've hit my total, which I had just set it for 10 out of 10. So I got a little notice, both visually, 10 out of 10, and a chime went off. And now the air has gone out of the machine, it's reset. Now, if I was going to go on and do some more, yeah, I could do the shrug and work on my shoulders, and it would reset for that as well. So most of our machines are dual function, and that allows for some space saving, as I mentioned. Now I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna just take you on a little tour here so you can see some other things. So right here next to the dip shrug is a piece of our analog equipment. This is an optimal rhomboid. And as you can see, there's a difference in that it doesn't have the software, doesn't have the touch screen. It has a digital dial. There we go. And it's just a matter of adding more air. You can see the dial going up, or less air. So super simple. It doesn't require an outlet. As you can see down here, there's the little pneumatic tube that's running to the wall. And that is all that's needed to run that machine. And then here it is, a little bit broader view of it. So we have the analog machine that doesn't have the software. We have the handicap accessible dip shrug. And I'm gonna just set the camera down and show you how easy this chair is to take out. Just roll that chair away and another person could come in and use it with a wheelchair. When it's time for someone to come back and use it again, who wants this chair, they can just roll it back in place. It's nice and sturdy. It sets in place really firmly. And then down here, just a little bit further, you can see a whole line of equipment. These are the different pieces in the Her High Five. And I'm just gonna give you a little look here at the screen. So you can see the screen right here, push up, pull down. So a person would wave their key fob or their wristband in front of this screen, and it would automatically set, loading up their weight, their reps, their sets. It'll show their power and their range of motion. So lots of good information from the software. And the other option is the analog. So just a little more basic. And there is the Her USA showroom. So back to our accessible piece of equipment. We'll just go right here. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. It was my pleasure being your host. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. And we'd be happy to send you additional information or have a conversation about specific equipment at a later time. Thanks again.